Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome into a special edition of Van Winkle's Garage. Today, I'm going to be introducing you to a new member of the stable, and that is this 2004 Toyota Sequoia. I was super excited to finally come across one. I've been looking for quite some time. The reason I wanted to add this vehicle to the stable is obviously Toyota's reliability and my admiration of the first gen model. And not only that, I got a lot of kids, and sometimes hauling everybody around in the third gen is just not ideal. So I wanted to get the larger vehicle for the comfort and the ability to just basically maximize trips in those space with my family, but also to kind of build it out and see what we could do with it over time. Now, I'm the third owner on this Sequoia. It has a really clean history on Carfax with no accidents, even though there is some damage on the rear bumper, and I'll show you that. And not only that, whenever I did my thorough inspection of it, I found kind of the typical stuff that you would find that needs to be done with the Toyota Sequoia. And I'll walk you through that as we go along here and show you the vehicle better right after this intro. So here's the deal. I'm excited to show you guys this, and I'm excited to take you along the journey as we build out the Sequoia and we do some cool things to it, and also some maintenance that just has to be done, so that hopefully if you guys out there also own a first gen Sequoia, it can make you more confident in doing the maintenance yourself and saving the money for yourself while taking care of your car the right way. So come on, we'll show you what we got. Taking a look inside the interior, I want you guys to keep in mind that I just picked this vehicle up but a few days ago, and I have not done a Van Winkle garage detail on this vehicle. So this is pretty much how I picked it up from the dealer. I'm really impressed, like I said before, with the quality of this vehicle in regards to the interior. It's really in excellent shape for its age. The obvious, most glaring issue is with the leather seats at the rear, or at the butt, if you will, of the seats. And, you know, if you guys have owned a Toyota over time, you know that that is a common issue. And that's one that I'm just gonna deal with. We're either gonna get seat covers reupholstered, or I'll find some donor seats at a junkyard. But you can tell that this vehicle has been really well cared for. And, honestly, that's what gave me even additional confidence in purchasing the vehicle and saying, hey, this is the one. All of the electricity, all of the buttons, everything on here is actually operable, tested, and works. It's in really nice shape. Let's take a look at the back. Come in here to the second row, and you can clearly see what I was talking about with a worn out leather. And yeah, I know it looks really rough, but you have to make sacrifices somewhere in purchasing a used vehicle. So this is where I made it. Now, what I will say is the previous owner clearly had a dog, and that dog must have spent a lot of time in this second row, because as I haven't cleaned, I have come across a lot of dog hair, as you can see right here. And that stuff is probably everywhere, but I'll tell you, we're gonna take care of that whenever I detail the inside. And by the time I'm done, man, you're never gonna know that there was a dog here to begin with. Let's walk around to the driver's side, and I'll show you guys a good shot of the third row. All right, so here we are on the driver's side in the back of the vehicle. We're gonna go ahead and see if we can't get this seat up. I absolutely love the way Toyota seats operate and how easy it is to get them up and in place. Now, you'll see some speaker wire down there, so the previous owner must have had some kind of system going on in here. But the third row, you know, this probably isn't that uncommon, but man, it almost looks like nobody's ever sat in it. And man, they may not have, honestly. So I'm elated at how good those seats look. The rest of the interior, like I said, is all intact. Everything looks as if it was when it came off the dealership lot. The headliner, the air vents, everything is tested, everything works, including this guy right here, which if we pull it out, nice little DVD player here for the kids to watch. And like I said, it's tested and it works. So you know what? I know we're in the age of iPhones and iPads, but hey, it's there. If it works, I like it. From the second row, looking into the driver's area, I just wanted to show you guys a good view of exactly how nice of a shape this was in. From the factory floor mats to the wood grain dash, which I gotta be honest, it's not my favorite, but in this case, it fits this vehicle. It's in really nice condition. and it's growing on me. And even the DVD player, which was clearly added as an aftermarket option, they did a good job on it. Everything on the center console works as it should. Everything looks really good for its age. Still some spring left here in the center console door, and a little bit of pocket change left over, which seems like you can't beat that, huh? Immediately off the price. All of the buttons, as I said before, not only are they not that worn down for its age, but man, they still work. Every single thing works. The radio works. All of the buttons work. I'm just super, super happy to have found it. And I'm sure you guys can tell because maybe I've repeated myself a few times. But, you know, it's rare when you find a vehicle of this age that's been taken care of. And if I can be the third owner, automatically that makes me really, really happy. All right, now we're in the cargo area. And as you can see, we have got the factory floor mat, which I'm stoked about. And, you know, pretty basic here. Nothing incredible to see, except for the fact that it continues with the theme of the vehicle. It's a clean vehicle, and it was pretty well taken care of. Another thing I was super happy to see was an operable and working sunroof. So let's come over here and we'll show you guys that, yeah, it actually works. We got the tilt function and the one-touch retract, and it works really, really nicely. I will tell you one thing, it's dirty as heck up there. Let me show you. So yeah, I can almost guarantee you that sucker is clogged, huh? And I mean, I guess it's not that bad until you get to the passenger side, but they both look this bad. Here's another thing. Clearly, there was a sunroof visor up here, and it's made its mark on the paint. Now, thankfully, this is a roof. But you know, if I'm being honest, I really like the look of these. That's just me. I'm gonna search for one to replace it and put it back up here. I kind of like it. But man, happy that I've got a functioning sunroof. As a 4Runner owner, that can be kind of a testy and touchy topic. Well, the ever so important undercarriage shot here. I'm gonna do the best to get you guys the best view possible, but man, the frame is in really good condition. And I'm super pleased with it. As you can see, there's really no evidence whatsoever anywhere of any rust. And this goes for the driver's side or the passenger side. Aside from the leaking issue that I talked about that you can see on the skid plate, everything down low looks really, really good. All right, so now we're gonna go underneath the hood and show you guys what really matters in the engine and what we need to address right now, sooner than later. First off, the power steering reservoir, man, there's a leak here. And if you got underneath and you looked at the skid plate, you would see the clear evidence of it. I can't tell if it's a cracked hose. You guys can see how gunked up these are, but I did clean this up. And the reason I cleaned it is because I kind of wanted to see what I was working with and where the leak might be. I don't know if it's a bad reservoir or a bad hose, but either way, I think I might just replace everything. I don't know. We're going to take a look at it at some point, narrow that down, and get that fixed. After I purchased it and drove it home, man, you guys that own first-gen Sequoias, you know this. These T-pipes right here are trouble. I've seen some people replace them with the stainless steel version, but, you know, I got home, I popped it up, I started investigating, and this one over here was solid. It almost looked like it had been replaced recently, but this guy, it disintegrated in my hand when I touched it. And I'm not kidding, coolant started pouring everywhere. I had to go into save mode. Well, I purchased an OEM Toyota part here on this T-pipe. I replaced it already. And when I did, I noticed one thing that was really, really glaring. Man, the right coolant's not in here. Somebody's been putting green in here. Not the Toyota pink that we all know and love. And, you know, so that led me down here to the coolant bottle. So I checked out the coolant bottle and it was low. And as you can see now, it's a tad low from where it should be. But I've been working on it. And as you can see, I put some Toyota pink in there, which should be in there. But like I said, man, it's just not good. I'll tell you what came out of it was just not good looking. It needs to be flushed. So whenever I was heating the engine up and kind of working through getting the coolant levels back where they needed to be in the near term, I noticed something. I noticed the fact that this thermostat was really not cycling the way it should be. I don't think it's operating properly. And to be honest, for the cost and the time that it's going to take to replace that, it is so worth it to go ahead and buy a brand new part and get that thermostat replaced, and know that what is in there is a Toyota OEM part, and know that it's right. And while I'm doing that, guess what I'm going to do? We're going to flush the coolant out and put all Toyota pink in there. Now, as for the rest of the engine bay, the battery is brand new, so that's pretty awesome. I'm happy with that. But there's definitely some evidence of leaks down below. Now, whether that is going to be oil, coolant, power steering, or maybe a mixture of all three, that is yet to be determined. I haven't done a super deep dive like I normally do with valve cover gaskets or other things that might commonly occur on these engines. But you better believe it, we're gonna do it, and I'm gonna take you guys along with me as I do it. Now, for the rest of the engine bay, we got a brand new air filter. I've cleaned the mass airflow sensor off, and at some point in the near future, we're gonna take this off and clean that throttle body out. We'll show you guys when we do. And I'm pretty happy here. The radiator at one point was definitely replaced. It doesn't look brown. The spine here doesn't look bad. So man, all in all, you can't be unhappy with it. And it really is a good looking engine bay that after I get my my hands on it is gonna look even better. So let's go ahead and show you guys some of the things that we're gonna be addressing sooner than later on the first gen Sequoia. And one of the first things is gonna be these hazed yellowing headlights. You can tell right here that this is really the portion of the headlight that was protected by the hood. And just look at that difference. Man, the yellowing on this headlight lens is severe. And these are plastic lenses, so it's certainly by no means surprising to me that this is how it looks. So we're gonna use some headlight restoration kits. We'll play around. We'll see which one works best. Obviously, once you start the headlight restoration kit, you gotta keep it up. None of those last forever. But typically in my experience, when done right, they can make a fairly significant difference and not only make the vehicle look better on the front end, but also improve performance in regards to the visibility at night. Now, the previous owner did put some LEDs in these headlights. I'll go ahead and peek around the corner and show you guys those. I haven't done much of an inspection on those, don't know the brand, don't know the type, but on the surface, they do look better than the old halogens. And down here at the fogs, the same story goes. These are LEDs as well that look much better than the halogens. So that's one thing we're gonna address. Let's go show you guys the next one. This one has got to go, and it's got to go soon. Obviously, this rear light assembly has seen better days, and it was really affected by whatever rear collision happened here, whether it was a pole, another vehicle, a parking lot incident, who knows? And really, I don't care. What I do know is that I've gone ahead and grabbed a new set of both of these housings from a donor vehicle and a salvage yard, and we're gonna change these out really soon. So that's gonna make an immediate improvement in both the functionality and the looks of the rear end on the Sequoia. Now, for any of you first gen Sequoia owners out there, you know that this right here is a common problem and really kind of an annoyance, and that is the latch. It's just not working. If we come underneath here and you look at the latch, the common issue on these first gens is that the mechanism stops working, and there's a few different reasons why. So we're gonna go ahead and get that replaced and fix that at some point sooner than later. The car does open, but I'll tell you, it takes some work. And I can't tell yet if it's muscle or magic that gets it done, but either way, you know, it eventually gets there. It seals, everything works well, but that has got to change. Another thing that I'm gonna have to address is the power antenna. You know, this is not gonna be a shock again to you first gen Sequoia owners, but this thing stays full mast all the time. And let me tell you, it does not go down. That might sound like a good thing to some people, but in the case of a power antenna, it is not a good thing. The motor is turning, but nobody's home, and you can hear that sucker just working in the fender. Now, here's the deal, okay? There's probably a lot of fixes for this. Unplug it, take it off, replace it. If you guys watch my channel, you know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try to fix it the right way, which to me is making sure it operates like the factory intended it to. Is that a priority? Honestly, it's not at the top of the list, but it's definitely on the list for something that I'm gonna get done sooner than later. Now, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I have these wheels on my 3rd Gen 4Runner, and I absolutely love the design from Toyota. These are a different finish on the Sequoia, but I really, really love them. Now, the one issue that I have with all 4 wheels is that they've got some stains going on the finish, and upon the very first look, it almost looks like they're baked in to the finish. That's usually not a very good sign, and you can see what I'm talking about here. Now, I know this could be an indication of some other things that have gone on in the past, but if we're just talking about the wheel finish right now, one of my goals is to see what exactly we can do to make this better without spending a ton of money. And if it comes down to it, and I can't get them to look the way I want them to look, then you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna get some takeoffs, and we're gonna change up the look. So for now, that's where they are. Coming around to the driver's side, you guys can clearly see it's not all rainbows and sunshine. This is a pretty solid dent, not only into the door, but into the paint. And we've got a little partner here. I bet you these two were related. Maybe not. Maybe it was the same occurrence. And also we have kind of a typical wear item, and that's the door handles on these Sequoias. They wear down pretty quick. But once again, if that's the worst, then I'm pretty happy with it. We don't have many imperfections in the paint. You see there's a scratch there, but really in the totality of the paintwork, it's very nice for its age. Super pleased with it. Now with that said, there is a lot of water spots on the vehicle. I think you can tell, and this is a great view of it, these water spots that are etched into this glass. This reflection should be clear. As you can see, aside from the pollen that's dumping at about 5 pounds per hour down here in the south, these water spots should not be there. And they're on every single window, except for the windshield. It's really, really bad. So one thing we're gonna do is we're gonna be able to use and test out some products. I'm probably gonna start with the Chemical Guys spot remover and see how that works, along with maybe some isopropyl alcohol to prep it with. But I'm excited to test that out to see. I've never been able to test that on one of my personal vehicles. But as you can tell, man, the water spots are severe. So you'll be looking hopefully for a video from me that shows exactly how the test results on that comes out. Well guys, there you have it. The walk around is complete, and hopefully it's provided you with a good insight and idea of the condition of the new to me 1st Gen Sequoia, this 2004. You know, I'm really pleased. I know you guys could tell it in the video, and I get that beauty and quality is sometimes in the perception of the beholder, but it's rare to come across used vehicles that are this age and have been on the road for this long that are taken care of and are still in really good condition. So when I'm able to get a hold of one that allows me a good foundation point to build off of and to continue its path on the road and even go with a higher quality and basically a higher level of care and maintenance, it really makes me feel proud. So I'm proud that this is in my driveway, and I hope you guys enjoy the series as it comes along on both any kind of modifications, builds, or just pure maintenance that we do to the 1st Gen Sequoia. Thanks so much for tuning in, man. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for your likes, your subscriptions, your feedback, and your comments, man. Keep them coming. Let me know what you think of the new ride. Let me know what you think I should do next and what I should tackle first on the maintenance list of what's most important. And man, come back for more videos in the future. Until next time, see ya.